within, the one who controls from within is called Vashatkaraha in Sanskrit. So in Sahasranamam, the third name, Vishwam, Vishnuhu, Vashatkaraha. So the third name is Vashatkaraha in the set of 1,000 names. So that is why the code name was 3 in 1,000. So that is when they realized the one who dwells from within and controls is called Vashatkaraha or Shasta. So this boy Prahlada tells his father, Shasta Vishnur Aseshasya Jagadoyo Hridisthitaha Tameva Paramatmanam Tata Kakera Shasyate. So while this was the case, Hiranyakashipu thought it is high time I put him to some good school. He has been learning all the wrong things. Hiranyakashipu thought. So he called the sons of Shukracharya called Shanda and Amarka. So he called them and said, please teach my son who is Parabrahman. They said, we will be more than happy to teach. Wait. Teach him who is the Parabrahman. Teach him that I am Parabrahman. So that is when they said, sir, course material has to be designed. There is no existing course material to prove that you are Parabrahman. Anyways, they took this child. Next morning, classes were to begin at 7 a.m. At around 4 a.m., the teachers were able to hear 93.4 FM. Kashtadallirali putkrishthadallirali yashtadaru madikettu irali Krishna Krishna vembo sisharu beduva Ashtakshara Mahamantrada Namavaha Narayana Ninna Namada Smaranega Saramritavu Yenna Naligege Barali Narayana Kshemam Nalgum Shri Guru Vayurapan Namamallal Uivali Vereduvo Namo Narayana Pannisaikum Pavaravayidalin Pankaja Kannalagum Kundalam Tigal Seviyum Venshangam Tigiri Olir Tatangalum Tan Tulabam Tavalmarbil Minnum Mupurinolum Kinkini Gidayapa Kalashilambu Galagala Kamannide Vaikunta Tappandar Kachidane Kandadur Kalipod Panpadi Kundar Karankudithu Mei Urugi Yendishayu Medirolika Om Namo. Looking at this little boy who was able to inject and inculcate the love to the Almighty amongst his fellow mates, the teachers were surprised, shocked. They wanted to teach Prahlada that father was a better off person, but this boy ended up teaching all the other children. So they thought it's high time that we put this child back to his parents' custody. Took the child there and said, hey, your son is very intelligent, you have the son with yourself. So the father wanted to ask, after all he has spent so many dollars to get his son educated, he asked, what have you learned? This boy stood and said, Father, I have learned something very interesting. What is that something very interesting? You tell me, I will get to check if it's interesting or not. So this boy said, I have learned the 9 holy, essential, intrinsic characteristic features to devotion called bhakti. Can you come again? Said the father. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti pumsarpita Vishnor bhaktische navalakshana. Bhaktische navalakshana. The 9 characteristics, what are they? Shravanam. Intense, passionate listening. Listening is an important skill. I have seen a few parents who write to me either on Facebook or on mail telling me, we have grandchildren. So please tell, what should we do? What should we make him write? As per Shastram, writing is the last skill that needs to be acquired. The first and the foremost of all skills that a he or a she or a child needs to learn is listening. Listening is very, very important, because 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, when you get to listen to some content which is worth listening, your concentration gets glued and fixed onto the content. It's very, very tough to fix our concentration. Kapeyam kattina kurangai pole tiriyavu maam, tells Vedanta Deshika in Rahasya Shikhamani. So listening is very important. So if people ask who is better off, the speaker or the listener, I would always say people in the audience are better off. They are doing the foremost of the skills, which is listening. And listening is the toughest. Believe me. Because after 2 hours of lectures, it's the audience who will say, Appa. So listening is very, very important. How much should we listen? Endlessly. The great sage of Kanchi who walked on the earth, called Kanchi Mahapreva or Paramacharya, used to state that even while you're in your deathbed, you should keep listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. So Shravanam, second skill, Kirtanam, Vainal Padi. So uttering is very, very, very important. I'm sure we have reached a stage where a lot of them, probably from your grandchildren's generation, your children's generation, my generation, they have one very pertinent question. Why should I memorize shlokas? Why should I memorize? I first of all don't know the meaning. Why should I memorize? Very good question. Learning the language in which the shlokas is being delivered is very good. If you know the language, you'll enjoy the shloka really well. So if you were to just listen to a shloka, Ramam Dasharatham Viddhi Mam Viddhi Janakatmajam Ayodhyam Adavim Viddhi, good. But imagine you knew the meaning. Ramam Dasharatham Viddhi, treat Rama as Dasharatha himself. Mam Viddhi Janakatmajam, treat Janaka's daughter as me. Ayodhyam Atavim Viddhi, treat the very forest as Ayodhya itself. So when you learn the meaning, it will be super interesting. But that doesn't mean that you should wait till you know the meaning and then only learn the shlokas. Because that is also one of the ways to convince the other person that I'll never learn them. Right? We have always believed in Sanatana Dharma. The belief could be wrong, but there's still a very strong belief that the biggest, the unfailing, the largest memory bearing hard disk ever known is our brain. You can store as much as possible in it. It's just not 1 TB, not 4 TB. It's endless. Till about 40 years, we had a great Sri Vaishnava Swamin from Kanchipuram who could narrate or recite all the 1,25,000 shlokas of Sri Mahabharatam. So there have been people like that. People who walk on the streets of Triplicane and Kanchipuram, they know the 4,000 verses of the mystic saints by heart. So memorizing is an art. Of course, we have devices to support us, we have devices to assist us. Nevertheless, if we don't end up using our brains, it will just get rusted. No amount of galvanization can also stop it from rusting. So the best is to utilize that brain. And I'm sure a lot of them will come up with statements, எவ்வளோன்னு ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்குது. அப்படி சொல்கிறவங்க ஒன்றுமே ஞாபகம் வச்சுட்டது இல்லை. எவ்வளோன்னு இழுப்பா பாருங்க, அதில் தான் ஒன்றும் ஞாபகம் இருக்காது. So make sure that at any age, don't ever say, I've heard also people say, சின்ன வயசெல்லாம் விட்டுட்டேன். Don't say that. While I lived in Bombay, I remember seeing one lady who used to come all the way from Juhu to learn Nalayana Divya Prabandham at the age of 73. And while she was 75, with intense practice, she could recite all the 4,000 verses by heart. I've seen it in front of my eyes. So age is no bar. Socrates, while he was to be given hemlock the next day, still wanted to learn the art of folk singing from the next person who was in the next cell. The person asked, you're going to die tomorrow. How does it help you? He said, people who write my history after I'm dead will say, Socrates knew a list of things and he also knew how to sing folk songs if I would learn today. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho Smaranam, remembrance of the Lord. See, if we have the presence of the Lord in us and we realize His potential to a small extent, you would not be seeing so many men whom we could even never imagine harassing women in the Me Too movement. Correct? If you had ever realized the presence of the Lord in you, why would you end up harassing the other person? So, most of our things go verbal. Nothing goes to the extent of realization. Though I may have my own qualms with the English language, the word realization is such a beautiful word. It is very close to the meaning of sakshatkaram in Sanskrit. Interestingly, these two languages come together at one point in time, which is realization. Vishnoho Smaranam, thinking of the Lord. Pada Sevanam. We have always believed in our culture that we fall at the feet of those people who are elder to us by age, knowledge, and qualities. They may not know anything, but their qualities could be good. You may see a flower vendor, qualities will be excellent, fall at that person's feet. You know someone 10 years of age in your house, the child will end up telling you things which you never knew, which you never even thought of. At that point in time, the child becomes your acharya. Sanatana Dharmam doesn't say the person who's just born years before you alone needs to be respected. Vayo vriddhaihi, jnana vriddhaihi, shila vriddhaihi, tells Valmiki. Rama used to follow the feet of people who were elder to him by age through qualities. Pada Sevanam, Archanam. Archana means where you experience the Lord's presence through various qualities of His, through various names. See, every name has a quality. It is called Bhagavad Guna Darpanam, the commentary. Every name of the Lord indicates a certain quality in Him. So if you call Him Vishwam, He is the one who is the repository of all good auspicious attributes. So you find all of the best in Him. Vishnu indicates the one who is in everything. So He is one in all. Vishwam indicates all in one. Vashatkaraha indicates the one who controls us from within. Bhanuhu indicates the one who shines with the ethereal, the eternal, the fresh rays, like the rising sun in the morning, which gives us energy. So every name of His has some beauty. That's why when you go to a temple, you end up asking the priest, the Archaka Swami, to do an Archana. But today it has gotten so very selfish where we have to tell our Gotram, our Nakshatram, to tell the Lord that in your creation I exist. Don't forget my worries and my problems, solve them. I'm sure even without you telling, His only task is to help us get out of the problems. So Archana is done only to experience the Lord's names. Prakrityai namaha, vikrityai namaha, vidyayai namaha, sarvabhuta hitapradayi namaha, shraddhayai namaha. Every name indicates how merciful the goddess is. So when Archana is being performed, either we listen to the names or we go back, learn the meaning to the names and then come back and listen. It's about the experience that you get. And it's not a mundane process. of paying so many dollars and getting the archana done. Archanam. Vandanam. Putting your palms together. Vedanta Deshika and Srimad Rahasya Trayasaram states, Manasa, Vacha, Karmana. When you do an action, you should see convergence through your action, physical action, through your mental thought and verbal. I'm sure in those of you who have seen, people welcome us inside the Air India flight. Namaste. That may not come from their heart. Namaste. So, no harm, I'm just telling you. At times, we may not end up saying Namaskar. Had we done this during the times of Treta Yugam, we would have been the next elephant, because there was a Pandya king called Indradyumne Pandya K tells Bhattadri. So, Agastya Maharishi came, this king was performing Aradhanam to the Lord. So, instead of telling Agastya, you're welcome, he said, Indradyumne Pandya K Prakriti Nama Vikriti. He nodded his head. He was cursed to be an elephant. We don't even nod, we'll be cursed to be a stone. Adrishya Bhava. So, Vandanam. Putting your palms together. Vandanamo Raghunandana. So, all through Bhagavad Gita on the first day, and then came an instant where Arjuna had to fight the son of Narakasura called as Bhagadatta on the field of Kurukshetra. So in those days in archery, you will be standing miles apart. If I am Arjuna, I will be standing here, and the person whom I am fighting with will be standing opposite me miles away. I won't even know where he is standing. I will just know on a blur that there is somebody there. So when he shoots, I shoot. It's called Astram Pratyastram. If he shoots a missile that invokes fire, I need to shoot a missile that's an antidote to it, which is Varunastram. But I won't know, because the other person will not end up saying, hey Arjuna, I'm going to hit Agneya Astram now. He will not alert me. Nor will the distance be very close. In those times of N.T. Ramarao and Lavakusha movies, they'll be so close. And the person will end up standing on the battlefield and he'll sing one song on Kedara Gowda. Oh, lava mi kuinda kavala. So it's neither singing nor anything to do with singing, it is just shooting. But how will I know the shoot? Because the person who is standing opposite me will utter a mantra, so my eyesight needs to be really good. So when the person utters the mantra, his lips will move. Just with the lip movement miles apart, I have to decipher that he is uttering Agni Mantram and I have to shoot Varuna Mantram. It was intense archery. So Bhagadatta, who was standing opposite Arjuna, recited the Narayana Mantram and wanted to shoot Narayanastram. So for every Astram there will be a Pratyastram. But Arjuna was wondering, because he never knew what was the Pratyastram to Narayanastram. He said, Krishna, help me again. In my book he referred to his manual. The cashier will give notes. So my grandmother used to end up washing those notes dried under the sun, like the frames that are dried during the Chitramasa. So he started referring to the manual of Dhanurveda. He couldn't find a Pratyastram to Narayanastram. He said, Krishna, help me. Krishna thought, I have committed a grave mistake by reciting Bhagavad Gita to you. I could have done it to somebody else. Even Boston people are adept. Why should I recite Bhagavad Gita to you? Arjuna asked, why? All through Bhagavad Gita I have been telling you that there is no one who is equal to me. Only if there is someone equal to Narayana will there be something equal to Narayanastram. Whatever is the Pratyastram to me is the Pratyastram to my Narayanastram too. Arjuna asked, what is your Pratyastram? If someone stands in front of me claiming that he is incapable and unable to fight me, with tears running down his or her cheeks, with palms folded, that Anjali Mudra is my Pratyastram. Anjalim Parama Mudram Kshipram Deva Prasadini tells Vedanta Deshika. So Arjuna abandoned all his weapons, went down to the floor, and he said, I have nothing with me, I am incapable, forgive me. The Astram went back. Vandanam Dasyam, to think that you are eternally a lovable servant to the Lord. Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam, to treat the Lord as your very friend and to surrender this very sentient matter called Jivatma to his lotus feet. This is what I have learned, Father, tells Prahlada to Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu thought it's high time. It's high time for me also, because I have a question answer session after this. So it's high time that I need to ask you, who is the one who has been blessing you with such quintessential knowledge? Who has been giving you this knowledge, who has been trying to protect you and shield you from every obstacle that I am trying to pose in front of you. If I were to let you be trampled by the elephants take a reverse gear and goes back. Not here, elsewhere, in the US, while I was being driven from my host's place to the venue of my lecture, the mommy drove for me, the lady in the house. Mama was seated behind. That's what his position is, I meant to be. So he was seated behind. Mommy pressed the button and the garage door opened. I was assuming if this door is a variable, there should be a constant on the other side, a wall on the other side. It was open the other way too. I was wondering, the door is open, it's open here the other side. I asked Mama why. He said, she drives very well, but she doesn't know how to take reverse. So, whereas the elephants that were supposed to kill, torment Prahlada, they took a reverse gear and went back. Sashulari Viddhihi, tells Bhattadri. So, from every impediment that the father laid in front of his son, there was somebody to protect. And the father was shocked and surprised to know who was protecting the son. He asked, who's protecting you? The one who is within you is within me, Father. Shanilumulan, Konilumulan, Shadaguritta Konilumulan, Ni Shullum Shullilumulan, tells Kamban in Kambaramayana. All that is fine, but tell me where he is. He is everywhere, Father. Is he in this pillar? Father, you have not understood set theory well. When I have said that he is in the universal set, you can't ask if he is in set A. A is a subset to universal set. But he had not the full arrears case. So he didn't understand. Is he there in this pillar? Why was Hiranyakashipu pointing to a particular pillar and asking? Because while he got this entire kingdom design from an architect, he had outsourced it to the contractor. And while this pillar was being built alone, Hiranyakashipu personally supervised. So he was 200% sure that nobody could have gotten inside